Hello and welcome to a side episode of Codename New 202. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Are You. Like a lot of you guys know that have been following me for a while, when I first began I was doing car related stuff. Basically modifications that made sense, better investments per dollar. Modifications that someone that is a GenXer, that's married, has mortgage, works a 9 to 5, and none of these teeny bopper things that YouTube is filled with. So I've done tire reviews, what tires to look for for you and your family. I did one on Federal tires, which these young people are going crazy about. In reality, they suck. They're terrible in wet weather, and I advise people that these are only track day only tires to get. Anyway, this video is because besides moving, I've had another issue that has come up. My BMW station wagon just stopped in the middle of the road. It it said, I'm not going any further, kaput. I contacted some old friends in the police department. They were kind enough to send a trooper out and help me put the car on the side of the road. I had to call in a tow truck to tow my station wagon to Sears because what is the obvious culprit? The battery. Well, and I just put in my Die-Hard battery 2 years ago in 2017. But you know what? Sears was right down the road. I figured, what the hell, it's a nice safe spot to put the car. Well, I figured out what was going wrong. So the battery came back perfect. I bought in 2017. I always buy Die-Hard car batteries. I've never had any problems with them. My dad loved them. I love them. So I love Die-Hard batteries. So the battery wasn't the problem. So what would you normally think? The alternator. That could be the culprit. But then again, when you own German cars, the answer is never that easy. So I did some research, and the probable culprit is the fuel filter. Or anyway, because you have to think, air, fuel, spark. Those are the three things to get your car started. So I know that, when I had the Audi, that kind of trained me to be, especially when you own a German car, to be on time and on top of every maintenance in order to get the full value of your car, and to get the character, because yes, you could just get a Toyota, and there's nothing wrong with Toyotas, but growing up on American muscle from my youth, and then when I was finally able to drive Japanese imports, to now I like European cars. It's just the drive for me. I feel that in a Euro, they have character, and they're made for twists and turns, and when you go to Europe, you see why these cars are different, and that's why I love station wagons, and I don't know why. My dad had an '81 Opel. That was my first memory of cars. Was that puke green Opel. They don't even make Opels in the United States since the 90s or 80s. Yeah, 1981, 82, I think was the last year Opel was selling to the United States. So anyway, this video is actually trying to help those that may have similar issues with their E90 BMW. And I'm talking about, I think, 320, 328, 330, 335, and even an M3 that are in that E90 class range. So if you're driving, you hit a light and your car just stops, but it's cranking, but it's not turning over. It's because it's not getting fuel. And the culprit of that is what's in this box. So we're doing an unopening of what it is. And I'll do all the, I'll do a follow-up video once I install it, but the point of this video is to recommend ECS Tuning versus Advanced Auto or any of these things. This is the fuel filter regulator. That's what's in this box. This is probably the 90% culprit of why my car isn't starting. And anybody knows, I've heard people like spend hundreds, almost close to $1,000 trying to get this problem figured out at your local mechanic. If you ordered this part from Advanced Auto, they wanted to charge me $238. You know, online, yes, eBay had one for about under $100, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really don't buy parts from eBay or Amazon even, because it's just a guess. I bought, you know, in the tailgate, the tailgate, the struts that go for, you know, the tailgating thing, and I put in all the specs. It came back, it was the wrong, it didn't fit the 380i wagon tailgate. I put in all the criteria, and it still didn't fit. And that's the problem. With ECS Tuning, I think there's another company called ESS, but I've been buying ECS parts since, you know, when I owned the Audi. Now, I've saved a ton of money because you get that same quality as genuine parts. For example, it'll say Audi or VW when you look at the part and take from a car, but they're actually made by a company called, I think it's Piesberg or something like that. So these are the manufacturers that make the part for Audi or VW, but instead of putting their name, they'll put in VW's name as part of their vendor agreement. But it's essentially the same thing. You know, that's exactly what's in your Audi or actually in your BMW. And ECS Tuning has all, when you put down your specs, it's always right. The part fits. I know that. I've dealt with them for 8 years. I never had a part that didn't fit or whatever. And always high quality, just as the manufacturer. None of this second party, whatever. So I highly recommend ECS Tuning. And look, you even get a free kitty in your shipment. How can you beat that? Look at that. This is a ferocious, dangerous bobcat, so I got to be careful. What are you doing? What are you munching on? It's a return label. All right. The other good thing why I recommend ECS Tuning is the level of customer service. Again, I've been dealing with them for 8 years. When I told them that, you know, I needed this part because my car is, you know, not working, it's not able to start, their manager, Chris, was like, I got you covered. He did next day shipping on his dime, just for customer service and loyalty for 8 years. And I couldn't be happier at the level of service I've gotten with both my vehicles. Okay, so here is the part in question. This is the fuel filter regulator. And it's a DIY. I'm gonna just watch the videos, but it's right behind your the back seat. So you just have to take the cushion off and you'll get the panel right there. And it's easy to access. You could do it at home. And it's just, it looks scary, but it's not that bad. So if you do have a BMW that's probably, again, this is the E90, anything like 60,000 or above, I highly recommend you change this out. You're supposed to change it out at 30,000 miles. And my 2011 just hit 60,000. So I know that's pretty good. I bought it off an old lady. So it basically sat for a number of years. It didn't have any miles on it. So when it went on sale, and everybody knows I'm a wagon man, I saw a Euro station wagon, I went after that baby. And I'm happy to do so. It's the first time I ever owned a BMW, but you know, so far it's been trouble-free, and this little hiccup came up. So anyway, that's the point of this video. If you own an Audi, BMW, I highly recommend buying your parts from ECS Tuning. I mean, they have everything exact fit for your vehicle. You'll never ever be an issue if it doesn't fit or not, or the level of quality. This is made by Siemens, I believe. And they're the ones that provide it into the for the BMW. So it won't say Siemens on it. It'll say Audi, BMW, but they're the manufacturers that provide with this. So again, this is basically an OG part. So anyway, that's my little tidbit, a little advice. To sum up, if your E90 suddenly stops, your battery's still good, the first thing you do is when you turn on your car, do you hear the fuel filter turn on? Because there'll be a little hum before the if you don't hear that, that's probably what the culprit is. And again, always do the regular checks: battery, alternator, and then spark, fuel and spark. So those are the three things you should always check, no matter what car manufacturer it is. Those are the three things to look for when your car stops while you're driving. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. Again, we'll go back into doing what I normally do, retro toys and games. But again, this is Shabu Argue. Have a good one.